Now, I want to move to a state law tonight that is raising questions about the role of churches in our public schools. Under this new law, students who volunteer are being taken out of class to be taught the Bible. The I-Team's Kelsey Mittauer dug into the origins of the legislation and also found it's part of a copy and paste effort across the country.
They get excited to tell us, I read 12 pages. And we're sitting there going, wow, we as adults can barely read 12 pages of the Bible.
Every school week in Cleburne, Diana Ballmer walks students from Cook Elementary to a church down the street to learn about God.
The kids come out with a jubilee. It's fun to see their excitement. And as adults, we're in there learning the lessons with them.
She works for LifeWise Academy, a nonprofit that teaches the Bible to public school students.
We started with 26 kids, and then we ended the year with 41. And the teacher knows Jesus in every lesson, Jesus in every lesson.
Those lessons, which happen during the school day, are called Release Time for Religious Instruction. Cleburne's LifeWise program is the first in DFW, but the movement is spreading quickly across Texas thanks to a new law.
The chair now recognizes Senator King for Senate Bill 1049.
During last year's legislative session, State Senator Phil King said his bill would help parents.
It's purely voluntary, purely optional, but the fact that we do have a lot of parents leaving public school because they want religious education to be a part of it, this would just provide another option for those parents.
He told committee members that 15 districts had already denied families the right to start a release time program. And he said the bill just reiterated a law long settled by the Supreme Court.
In the landmark 1952 decision, Zorak v. Clausen, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that public schools may release students during school hours for off-campus religious instruction, provided that there is parental consent and that the program is not publicly funded.
But he did not point out the most important word in that decision.
Public schools may release students during school hours.
May release students.
May. In the law, may means there is a choice. Shall means there is not. LifeWise and its supporters talked about the importance of those words to the National Association of Christian Lawmakers in 2024 as they described their efforts to change the law in every state.
But in Indiana is a great example because just a few months ago, in the summer, they were a may state and they passed shall language in their legislature. And in just a short time, they've quadrupled their LifeWise programs, and they're already serving over 70 schools in Indiana.
They also gave each lawmaker a fill-in-the-blank version to take home.
This bill is really very succinct. There's 5 sections to it. First of all, of course, the title, you put your state name in there.
A few months later, Senator King filed that bill with the word shall. It became law last September. Now, if someone wants to start a religious program at a public school, the district has to allow it.
For 2 months, I tried to get Senator King to interview with me. His office kept putting me off. So I said I would come to Austin to his next committee hearing. A few days later, the senator called me. He said that SB 1049 was a minor bill and said it was just not important enough to warrant an interview.
But it does seem to have the attention of the lieutenant governor. Last month, Dan Patrick asked the Senate's Religious Liberty Committee to monitor the bill to make sure it's implemented without any issues.
So my research focuses on the intersection of religion and public education.
SMU professor Mark Chancey says the law is important in the context of other recent state efforts, like putting the 10 Commandments in classrooms and adding Bible stories to textbooks.
This all looks like part of a broader effort to privilege certain religious views over the views of everyone else. And I think that's problematic, especially in a very diverse state like Texas.
He says more research is needed to know just how release time programs will impact schools and students.
What happens with that lost instructional time in the public school itself? What are children missing when they leave the public school to go for outside instruction? How does it affect the dynamics in the classroom?
We come into the school with hands open and mouth shut in terms of religious instruction.
Reverend Charles Johnson leads a nonprofit called Pastors for Texas Children.
What you're doing is creating an environment where people that don't subscribe to that viewpoint, that got that bill passed in the legislature, they become discriminated against. That's exactly what's going to happen in these schools.
He says the law approaches the subject of religion in the wrong way.
I do think that children ought to learn the history of religion. So you don't divorce religion from history. It's an integral part of history. But you present it in a way that is non-sectarian and that does not use the authority of the school to advance a particular specific religious point of view. That is for the home and the congregation.
Our Kelsey Mitzauer reporting. And by the way, LifeWise tells us that it, quote, comes alongside administrators and teachers to support their mission of serving students. But the I team obtained emails showing the internal struggles between the nonprofit and some school districts. And Kelsey's going to get into that part of the story when we see her again tomorrow night, part 2, right here at 10 o'clock.